Here's a fun one. Booking a comedian that I think is hilarious and I am a fan of, but I think is such a bad person that I don't want to be in the same room as them. That's a fun one. I don't, this one's weird. So there's a comic that is in one of the three major cities that I usually book from, which are Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and Dallas. That's usually where I get most of the comics. They reached out to me and asked if they could be on a show. And usually I reply to almost everybody. But I couldn't figure out how to reply to this one. Because the comic I'm talking about is incredibly good at stand-up comedy. Like, so good. Such a good comic. I mean, I've seen him perform, several times, and then sometimes it's pretty good, sometimes it's great. It's never bad. Not my particular style about half the time, but I still see, man, this person knows what they're doing. They're working hard. They're really good at they got the timing thing down. They're original. They're getting laughs across the board. They're very confident, and they're just good at it. They're great. And that's usually the only way I book things, is I go, are you good? Do you get laughs? Or did so-and-so say you're a nice person and you get laughs? I don't think it's my job to judge character. I don't think it's my job to try to encourage or discourage any type of behavior. Like, if somebody's really good, as long as they're going to show up on time, do the jokes, and get off stage on time, I don't care if you have a drinking problem, a drug problem. I do care if you smell funny. That's another personal one. But generally speaking, I don't not book somebody because they don't smell good. But one person, it was down to 3 comics for one show. And the way I narrowed it down is I asked my favorite and my second favorite. And I figured one of them's going to say yes, one of them's going to say no. If not, we'll have both. And then my third favorite out of them, I just didn't ask because that comedian does not smell good. Just a funky ass smell. Just smells like, when you leave a dish rag, like you go on vacation and you forgot, and you just leave a dish rag in a fucking bowl in the sink, and then it's mostly dried up and mildewy and it smells funky. Well, if you rub that dish rag on this dude, he'd probably smell better. But other than that, he's great. Like, I really like him. He's nice. He just smells funky as fuck, so I don't personally want him to be in my circle. But generally speaking, I book by ability, by professionalism. Like, if you do certain things, I'm not going to book you again, most likely, just because there's tons of people that are good that aren't going to do them. And most of that is showing up really late, or if you're the host, showing up late at all. Like, if you're hosting a show that starts at 7 and you show up at 7:15, you're a fucking dickhead. So I'm not, like, that, you're not reliable, I can't book you. Sorry. And then the other thing is running the light. Like, if we have a clock at Avenue, we have a big clock, and it says your time on it. And then we tell everybody before they go up, hey, there's a clock up there. If you just look up and to the right, you'll know how long you've been on stage. And let's say you're doing 15 minutes. If somebody does 17 minutes, I don't care. If they're doing really good, it doesn't matter. But if somebody does 25 minutes and I'm hitting them with a flashlight going, hey, dude, get the fuck off the stage, get the fuck off the stage. And then they act like they don't see it. And then another 5 minutes goes by and they're like, oh, is that my light? You kind of are ruining the show. Because the thing is, if you make me the bad guy where I have to go up there and grab the microphone or cut your microphone off, maybe I can turn it into something funny, but whatever. But those are things, like, if you do those, we're probably just not going to book you again. Otherwise, if you're funny, I don't give a fuck about the rest of it. Like, I've booked some people that I definitely don't like, that I think are rude, mean, impolite people that I don't get along with, whatever, but they're so good I don't care. Like, and I think that's how it should be. It should be about how good you are. That being said, there's this one person that when they messaged me and asked for a spot on one of my shows, I was thinking, man, you're so good, I need to just have you headline a show. It'd sell tickets, it'd do really good. And then I was like, but I've never had an interaction with you where I didn't feel dirty because you're such an asshole. Like, this person is just so fucking mean to everybody around them. Well, I say everybody. They're only mean to females for the most part. I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. Sorry. Can we edit this out? Probably not going to edit it out. My bad. I warned you, okay? It was a sneeze. Anyway. My first impression was, relatively normal person. We're at an open mic together. They're kind of bossy and rude, but that's fine. And then my second impression was watching them scream at somebody for asking a very simple question that I thought was a fair question. And then my third was watching them scream at somebody for something else. And then my fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, like I've only seen this person be not mean as fuck one or two times. I've been around them like 50 fucking times. I'm going to say that's enough for me to go, I just don't want to be in the room with you. The problem is, and I kind of, if you could comment and tell me, maybe that would help. When you have somebody that's this good at comedy, but this much of an asshole, like, okay, maybe I should book them and go, okay, it's just, I'm the only one taking the hit. Just book, I'll host, and then I'll have one opener, or let them choose their opener. That way I'm not subjecting people to this kind of mean assholism. But if I do that, then I'm still, like, my wife's got to deal with it. The people in the audience, if the set doesn't go well, have to deal with it. And that's not worth it to me. And it's just weird, like, I was conflicted on, I wanted to message them back and say, hey, I would love to book you because I think you're a great comedian. And as far as comedy goes, I respect you because I've heard nothing but good things about, you showing up on time, doing everything the right way. But I've also heard nothing but bad things about your attitude. And these are from people that didn't know I already had that opinion of you. Like, I already found you a bit abrasive. So, sorry, but for personality reasons alone, I can't book you. I've thought about replying with that, but I didn't because I feel like that's not going to come off very well. Then I thought about replying with, fuck it, let's just do it. And I asked my wife, and she was like, well, if you think the comic's good, then maybe just book them anyway and try it. And I thought about it for like 2 days, and I was like, I just can't. I'm not going to put myself in a room with somebody that is most likely going to yell at me, yell at my wife, and just fucking, in general, be a cunt. Like, I just can't do that. So I don't know what to do. I don't know, do you message them back? Do you just ignore it? Do you book them anyway and see what happens? Give them a chance? Because the reality is, most people that I go, man, that guy's kind of a dick. It's from one or two experiences. So I don't actually know. This one, it's from a lot of experiences. So I do know, like, this one's a fucking not a nice person. But I still don't know what I'm going to do there. And that's the cool thing about it not being a real business. Like, when something's a real, like, I have to make money every time business, Comedy Avenue doesn't make any fucking money. Like, we don't make any money. I pay comics what the door is, minus the money that I pay somebody to set up the chairs. And then I spend money on advertising that I don't get back. That's what Comedy Avenue is. It is a break even on a good show and a loss on a okay show. And for things like the comedy contest, we made a little money, but not as much as we spent on advertising for the month before and the month after. So it is what it is. But right now, I do have the ability to not book somebody that I think could sell tickets based on personality. But I'm really genuinely curious, what do you think? So please let me know in the comments, or if you don't feel comfortable commenting about it and you've watched this to the end, send me a fucking DM. Send me a message somewhere and say, hey, I would blank, whatever it is. Tell me what you would do, because I'm really curious. Thanks a lot.